All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. NFP Friday. Now post NFP. Looking like a big gap higher this morning. Up into the weekly pivot. 255 upside level of interest. That's our weekly pivot there on NQ. Should be very familiar with that level. We've been trading against that level from weeks prior. So following NFP, you get the initial push higher, right, up into the 150 level of interest, pull back into prior day high, buyers step in versus that prior day high. That triggers the near-term range breakout. Take a look at that without the drawings all over it. Here's your near-term range high, right? Right near that 075 level of interest that we've been watching for the week. Breakout gets triggered. And so question is, what's next? Well, for this morning, what we want to see is how the gap is treated. Gap rules definitely apply. And we want to be looking at that reaction up into the 255 level of interest. Can the gap hold? Can buyers defend the gap? Or do we have another one of those gap and crap sessions like we saw? I believe that was, what day was that? September 26th. Thursday, September 26th. That huge gap higher that just sold off. So pretty straightforward. We got the open here in about 4 minutes. Gap rules and watching that reaction to the 255 level of interest. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. Yeah, volume point of control up there for me as well. Right into that 240 area. Let's just see how that opening 5-minute bar sets up. And that'll kind of guide us. Anyone grab any pre-market trades? Any post-NFP trades? There's mine right there. Grab that pull back to the prior day high. Ended up trailing out just a tad early, but that's how it goes sometimes. That is how it goes. Just on sim. Shorted. Alrighty. Couple pre-market trades out there. No NFP for Benny. Went short on the sim and blew up the account. Good thing it's a sim. Man. That's rough. So we got that open here in 90 seconds. Weekly pivot is on watch. 255 level of interest. No rush off the open here. At the very least, show me that opening 5-minute bar. We want to see if buyers are going to be able to defend this gap or not. And you can see my fib there for the overnight move. If we do see that retracement, start to watch some of those retracement levels. All right, so there's the open pulling back into that 23% fib. Initial rejection there at the weekly pivot. So game plan, like I said, we're just waiting for that opening 5 minute bar. There it is. There it is. Staying patient, staying patient. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My dog is going absolutely insane upstairs. Can't hear it? All right, nice. So there's that 38% fib. Some buyers stepping in. Not an area I'm personally interested in getting involved. No, all the neighbors love my dog, man. So that can't be real. That cannot be real. Yeah, the 50 or 61% fib with that 150 level of interest would definitely be preferred. Let's see how this opening 5 minute bar closes, though. We still have 30 seconds. So if we do see this 5 minute bar show any sort of bearish follow through, that'll be a good indication for me to just stay cash till 10 a.m. And again, these bars right here, that's your 5 minute, right? So there it is with the gap. You could also just look right here. And see if sellers are able to force that lower high. I want to let that structure build out. There's always, this scenario is always a trickier open because we are within the context of a breakout, right? We're dealing with a breakout that started pre-market on the back of NFP, but if we see that weakness off of the open, want to be cautious. So we're really looking for buyers, any sign of buyers stepping in and paying up. There's your new high of day on NQ, so it's definitely a good sign. Right back there into session volume point of control, more sellers stepping in. Great volume. Volume's really nice. Do we have 10 a.m. data? Let's see. No 10 a.m. data. Yeah, no inside day today. We're pretty well outside of the prior day's range. We could definitely see a tighter range day. If that's what you mean, Dom. But an inside day just refers to the daily bar inside of the prior bar. Yeah, that's great to hear, man. That's great to hear. Yeah, patience is name of the game. It's a misconception, I think, that is common in trading, that there's constantly a need to be involved or be active, and that's just not the case. Yeah, tighter range day, Dom. That's definitely possible. We should get, by the time 10 a.m. rolls around, we should have more clues. More clues about the session. Keep an eye on this 15-minute bar here. That can actually close as a hammer. That looks pretty good. And now, for next week, what we have on our hands is just a much larger, so the intermediate term has just switched into a much larger range now. Sideways range. Key support right through here, right? Something like that. So price struggling with that session volume point of control, currently overhead up at that 241 area. And that opening 15-minute bar closes in about 3.5 minutes here. No trades yet for the regular session for me. And no rush right now. Just waiting. Volume starting to taper a bit. A little bit of barcode. A little bit of barbed wire off the open there. Looks like ES just chopping around here as well. So let's see if we get some direction. $15-minute bar closes here in 1 minute. That's that opening 15-minute bar. Right now, just more of a doji, right? No real direction to it. So far, a potential another lower high here in the works. Remember, we came and tested the 255 upside level of interest. That's that weekly pivot. So session volume point of control did move down into 220. And that 15-minute bar does look a bit more bearish now. So it's likely a wait till 10 a.m. session at the very least. Wait till 10 a.m. before we place any trades. Still in that opening 5-minute bar range. Same with ES there. What are you going to do with that? Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Just wait. The 5-second chart. That's all you, man. That is all you. Let's see it though. Oh boy. Living dangerously, huh? What about the 1 second? A range is a range. Oh boy. So we got about 11 minutes till 10. So far, price has yet to leave the opening 5-minute bar in a meaningful way. Yeah, you got VWAP right there near prior day high. All this area right there here, prior day high, 61% fib, 150 level of interest. It's kind of a wide, pretty wide section, but interested to see how the higher time frames respond to that area if price actually gets there. As of right now, big if. So far, best play this morning was pre-market. That prior day high retest. It's your typical breakout and retest type of trade. Don't sleep on some of those pre-market plays when we've got a big data print. Yeah, the retest the prior day high. That's the entry. And NQ back near the lows here. See if we get that flush or not. Session volume point of control continues to serve as resistance. NQ just sitting on the lows. There's your new low of day. Any follow through? So buyers just absorb that new low. We've got 10 a.m. in 7 minutes. No data. No data at 10 a.m. This is pretty much no man's land for me here currently. You do just have a little bit of market structure and then that 38% fib. So just continuing to wait, stay in cash, let that A+ play materialize. That's all we do. New low of day there. All right, it's getting more interesting, definitely, especially as we get into 10 a.m. So I'll be looking at the reaction into that 150 level of interest. As well as that prior day high area. Remember the breakout point for the current structure. Pretty much is right through here, right? 075 level of interest. Prior day high is notable. So let's see if buyers, if and when they step in to defend that that breakout. Gap rules work pretty nicely again, right? Should have kept you out of all longs. Here's VWAP and the 61% fib. And we got about 5 minutes till 10 a.m. How's ES doing? ES into that 57.82 level of interest. So buyer's not super responsive there initially. There's your new low. Now we're looking at prior day high. There's prior day high. 075, like we just discussed, that is your prior structure high. That would be considered like the must hold point for buyers here. See if we get a test of it right into 10 a.m. Three minutes till 10 a.m. 3 minutes. Nice uptick in volume. Great volume now. Highest volume of the sesh there. It's a reminder on your structure. All right, 075. We pretty much have a full retracement of that NFP move. Almost a 100% retracement. NFP was right here. So ES finding some buyers versus prior day high. Now testing the underside of VWAP. NQ new low of day. So this is getting into that, like I mentioned, the quote unquote must hold spot for the structure. If you start to see a failure here, you'd be looking at a complete closure of the overnight gap, which is down into 20K. And we got that, finally got that gap and crap move. Gap and crap. There's 10 a.m. So if buyers are going to step in, there's a good spot for it and the right time of day. There's some interest versus the 75 level of interest. Pretty limited. Pretty limited so far. So the regular trading hours chart gives a pretty good visual here of the structure. So what I was talking about when I said it's kind of the must hold spot, right? Prior breakout point. And if it fails, you'll be looking at 20K, which is the downside level of interest, as well as the gap fill spot, overnight gap fill. Keep an eye on this 5-minute bar. Closes in 2 minutes. Two mins. NQ retesting that prior day high. So buyers need a break up and through that prior day high now. Then you'll be looking at VWAP, more of a reference point there, and then up into the 150 level of interest. So far, the structure remains intact. And this 5-minute bar still has 1 minute. So this next 1 minute candle will be key here for that 5-minute closure. There's that 5-minute closure. It's green. So now the question is, can buyers show any follow through of that 5-minute bar? NQ just kind of churning up against that prior day high right now. Volume really tapered back down. So that initial push in volume on that sell. Now we're kind of back near the average. NQ coming back for that 075 level of interest. So far, the 5-minute, that 5-minute green bar has shown no follow through, no break of the high. Let's check on S&P. S&P looks good. better bounce there versus prior day high and the level of interest up through VWAP now. So if you grab that, you want to be trimming into that 82 upside level of interest. Looks solid. Nice bounce. Nice bounce there. Now that NFP move has essentially been 100% retraced, don't really need that fib there anymore. You can take the fib for the cash session if you like. And what we see is that price is bumping into that 23% fib as well as the prior day high. Back into 0.75. So again, remember, if there's a failure here, you're looking at 20K. 20K. There's your new low of day there on NQ. ES following suit. Yep. ES into the lows as well. So next downside level of interest here, 40 points lower into that 20K area, and that marks the gap fill. Right there. So look at reaction into 20K, but at this point, per usual, if there's fresh lows past 10 a.m. and we have a higher time frame structure failure, you won't find me in a big rush to try and jump into longs. So I'd need to see something very compelling now. So now we wait. No man's land. Should be a quick move into 20K. Yeah, here's 20K. So NFP, as of right now, that's a failed break. Technically, higher time frames, you could still see a recovery, but so far that is a failed breakout. And potentially another pretty significant, pretty prominent lower high there as far as this near-term action is concerned. So keep an eye on those higher time frames. Here's NQ just shy of that 20K. Again, I'll be looking at the reaction into that 20K there. For intraday structure to show a change in character, you need to push up through 114 as of right now. 114, which is the prior day high. So 20K back into 075. How's our 15-minute looking? Closes here in a little less than a minute. No intraday change of character yet. So cautious with the longs for now. Don't want to be grabbing every low in an intraday downtrend. Unless you're just shorting lower highs. In that case, that's completely different. Here's 075. Retest, more sellers stepping in there. So I like a break above with some extension. Break above 075 with some extension. That then retests. Because remember, that's the big structure point, that 075 area. So a reclaim on the higher time frames would show just a retest, right? That's why we use multiple time frame analysis. You may think it's a break on like the 2-minute chart, structure failured, and then you check an hour later and the hourly candle held with a big wick below it or a big tail below it. That would be considered a retest and hold. Talked about that yesterday in the TMG. So here's our reclaim, 075. Coming into prior day high again. Again, change of character up through 114 on NQ with acceptance. Challenge is you do have VWAP right there as well. There we go. Buyer's pretty responsive. Right into prior day high, right into VWAP. This 30-minute bar closing as a hammer would definitely be significant, and to me would signal that, like I mentioned a minute ago, there's just a retest of the breakout point on the higher time frames. Let's take a look at that. Right through here. It's your breakout point. Right, get the big breakout, retest. It's kind of the idea. This candle is not closed yet, so it's too soon to be doing analysis on it, but there's a thought. It's what buyers are looking for right now anyway. So 075, 114, that level of interest, and then the prior day high, kind of the two primary focus points right now. There's back into 075. Do buyers defend here? That is the question. As of right now, no bullish change in character. No bullish change of character. Still need 114 reclaimed for intraday structure. So working on the lows again, down into 20K. If you grab that VWAP short, that prior day high short, you want to be trimming, protecting profit. Your target is down into 013 for that short. They'll retest a 75 there. So it stays as a primary level on watch. Next 15-minute bar closes up in 4 minutes. So far, it's been all red 15-minute bars since the open. And that's with fresh lows being made post 10 a.m. With potentially what is a higher time frame structure failure. So at this point, no real update to my game plan. Be looking at either 20K or some extension above 075 with then some sort of market structure base play to work with. NQ back near the lows. Back near the session low there. So 20K is that level of interest. It's also the gap fill area, right? Technically is not completely closed just yet. Yeah, that 30-minute hammer is gone. That's why I always say don't do your analysis before that candle closure. At the very least, don't be making trading decisions before that candle closure. About 1 hour into the sesh here now. Good old gap and crap move. So buyers trying to defend the lows there on NQ. I'd be more interested in some action versus 20K like I had mentioned. Volume's still really good, so just waiting. Just looking for that A+ play. That's all we do every day. Just wait. When you see it, execute. ES currently making a fresh low of day down into 57.50. No new low over at NQ yet. No new low of day. There's ES completely filling the overnight gap. Right there. Haven't traded ES in a while. It's been all NQ. Been purely trading NQ lately. So you got that next 30-minute bar opening up here. And again, the game plan remains the same. How's our profile looking? Yeah, you're going to have session volume point of control shifting any minute now. Any minute. That was a good clue this morning with the profile, the volume point of control keeping a lid on price action. Suggests that it's distribution. You may see some more selling. There it goes. So volume point of control shifting into 062. 075 on your chart. What's your row size? Could be the difference. I think I'm at, I forgot what I'm at. 75 for the row size there. You got a dinosaur broker? Oh man. Sorry to hear that. $70. Okay. All right, yeah, it's a little thicker. So NQ working on 75 here again. This could be that late morning range setting up here between essentially 20K and 114, which definitely would be a tradable range. Let's see how it continues to build out. Volume's great, so volume's not really a concern right now. New low of day spring off 20K. Yep, same. I would look at that definitely. Or change of character. Yeah, same page. Pretty much same page. Pretty much same page. Although if this range continues to build out like this, I may just look for some market structure based trades. We'll see. Prefer to see price above session volume point of control and above that 075 level of interest. Otherwise, the thought is that we have a failure of the that breakout. The NFP breakout. So, one thing I'm thinking about right now. Still all red 15-minute bars for the sesh. Not a single green 15-minute bar yet. There we go. There's 75 being retested. See if we get a break of 75. We'll break a 75 here. NQ did not make a fresh session low when ES did. So that's noteworthy. Up and through the session volume point of control now as well. May get that first green 15-minute closure here of the session. Still have 50 seconds, but it's looking good. 15-minute chart, bottom left down here. See if NQ gives us a retest of 114. It's your prior day high, and we also have VWAP right there as well. Prior day high. All right, there it is. First green 15-minute bar of the sesh. Regular trading hour sesh, that is. Now, if buyers can show, again, that push up through 114 with acceptance, that would be a change of character intraday and would be definitely significant for the higher time frame structure. It's coming into 114 right now. Let's just see. Let's just see what we get. How's that hourly looking? The old 60-minute doji right now. Doji. So no real test of the 114 there on that push. Back into that session volume point of control area. Intraday range is definitely compressing a bit more now. Volume's tapering down. We're getting the typical compression here following a big expansion move. So let's just see how this structure continues to build out, especially as we get into 11 a.m. here in about 12 minutes or so. $12 mins. And we'll throw a quick poll here in the chat. Let me know how the morning is. How we doing out there? Green, flat, red. What's it looking like? There's D-Wall. What's up, D-Wall? So NQ back near that 114. Let's see if we get the change of character here. I'd like a change of character. Bullish change of character. 2 shorts, 2 for 2. Nice. Yeah, that gap and crap move was nice. The GNC. Yeah, the GNC. Gap and crap. Opinicus concept right there. Patented. Trademarked. All right, into 114. Prior day high VWAP right here as well. So can buyers show a change of character for the intraday structure? And again, a change of character is not going to be, we're not talking about a blip above 114. Talking about a real break with acceptance. So time above 114. As of right now, there's intraday resistance. So there's VWAP on NQ. It's the actual high right through here. 120, 121. There it goes. Okay. Do we get acceptance or no? Show some acceptance or not? All right, not an immediate rejection, right? So far, anyway. Let's see. Got about 6 minutes till 11 a.m. as well. Tried my hand at a little retest there near 075. Point of control shows 2100. Noted. So just managing this long right now. Probably get trailed out here in a sec. Here's the trail. Oh, not quite. And there's the trail. There it is. So a little scalp setup there. I was looking for the break. Positioning near 075. Level of interest, market structure. Some of my favorite type of trade. Now what I'd like to see, like I've mentioned a handful of times now, is the bullish change of character. If we don't end up actually seeing it, then I suspect we have the late morning base kind of setting up here between 114 and essentially 20K. There we go. There we go. Back into 120. And again, with that long setup, per usual, if you guys are in the mentorship group, you heard me talk about this a lot, but per usual, the long is just so much easier once you actually have a green 15-minute bar. Makes it much, much easier. Higher time frames. Higher time frames on your side make life easier as a trader. Problem for many is it takes patience to actually let those higher time frames close and build out, let the structure build out and the candles actually close. So we got some good consolidation here near the prior day high. Notice how the prior two visits in this area were instantly rejected, and now price is actually doing a better job of holding into that zone. Volume is tapering down as we get into 11 a.m. So look for one more setup here near 11 a.m., around 11 a.m. May get that first green 30-minute candle closure of the sesh. There we go. That looks better. Looks better for buyers. Looking good. Looks like my trail was just a tad early. Part of the game. That is part of the game. All right, so we got 11 a.m. here in 15 seconds. There's your intraday 5-minute structure. Buyers now need to hold 114. And NQ working on 150 now. There's 150. Upside level of interest. Again, I reiterate how much easier that long setup was once you actually had the green 15-minute bar closure. I've not seen a re-entry personally. There was the play from earlier. Trail just a tad too tight, but it was based on market structure, so. A little rejection there at 150. If you have any longs, make sure you're trimming. at least reducing. Micro time frames and missed your entry. That was a tricky one. I think on that one you needed to be in ahead of the break. Looking at the 30-second here. I mean, unless you're going to get involved like right through here. Somewhere right through here, right? It's kind of tough. I liked it right here. I liked it right here. Position within the structure for that upside target and then potentially catch the break. In this case, I got trailed just right there. I don't really see an entry through here, personally, that I love anyway. So at this point, looking for either need some type of structure to take another entry. So that could either be a pullback down into the prior day high and VWAP area, where you now also have session volume point of control at 105, or another extension move up above 150 that then pulls back into 150. As of right now, we're still within the context of this week's structure breaking out, right? Like I had mentioned, like let's flip to that hourly. So on the 2 minute, you look at your intraday, your 1 minute, whatever it may be, you're thinking the structure is breaking down, which it definitely could be. Once it starts to recover and you actually have that higher time frame closure, this just becomes a retest. That's why multiple time frame analysis is so key. Yeah, A+ setup. A+ setup is essential. It really does take a long time to kind of refine your approach, to really know what you want to see and what those A+ setups look like, and then just having the discipline to pass on everything else, because we'll see a lot of subpar, a lot of lower quality setups or entries or signal bars, things of that nature, that trap a lot of other traders. They just they don't end up yielding any profits. And so you got to be able to say no to those. Just wait for the higher quality opportunities. And the tough part is when you see those lower quality setups actually put in a somewhat large move, not having any regret of missing out, ROMO, or fear of missing out, FOMO. It's years in the game. Helps. Screen time helps. Playing the long game helps. Here's that little bit of pullback. Let's see if we actually get a retest into the prior day high. The only other long entries I really liked this morning were the 075, which I passed on over here. And this actually worked for the initial target into prior day high. And then a case could be made for the higher low with the fact that the 20K level of interest is down here. But lately, my preference is to let the level actually trade. And in this case, I mean, we could make the argument that it's close enough, definitely. But in this case, the level did not actually trade, so. But this little earlier, let me clear these drawings off. That little earlier blip right here. This for me is pretty easy to pass on because it's not quite 10 a.m. yet, and it's kind of in between the two areas that I'm interested in. So if I were to get involved with something like this, I just have my limit buy up above the prior day high, or just wait for an actual test of the real level. Remember, prior day high is a reference point, but a level of interest is much stronger. It's based on higher time frame structure. So if we think about the prior day high versus the structure point, and I outlined this before price even got there. But here's your structure point at 075. Make sure you could see that. Right through here. And then here's the prior day high. Like, which one of those levels is stronger? It's pretty clear. The blip from yesterday or the actual higher time frame structure? All right, folks, I think that is a wrap for me. Let's look at this. Let's see if we get some response here at prior day high. To buyers step in. But it's about time to call it a morning. I gotta get prepped for a client session here in a moment. It's a decent week overall. All things considered. Made the most of it this week. Good start to October. Good start to the quarter. Some buyers stepping in there, trying to step in there versus prior day high. Let's see how that 1 minute bar closes. And right back through. Right back through. So failure to hold that key intraday structure point, which means I would reconsider either down into 75 or down into 20K. But as of right now, signing off. It's a pretty good morning. Theme lately has definitely been patience, especially with the seen a lot of sell the open types of starts to the day past few weeks. So if if you're looking for long setups, sell the open means you just gotta sit. You just gotta sit and wait. And if you find yourself frequently getting clobbered in some of these first 30 minutes, first 45 minutes, need to do a little less, have a little more patience. But thanks for jumping in, everyone. Hope you guys had a great morning. Hope you had a great week. If you have questions about anything, feel free to reach out in the Traders Think Tank. You can send me questions over the weekend. Be happy to get back to you. Help out where I can. We'll continue the analysis there shortly. But otherwise, I'll talk to you all next week. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.